I keep telling people that as long as you are on Twitter, you will be able to find all kinds of stories or for me to talk about, or stories that I can come across. This being one of them, because I don't think mainstream media really got a hold of this in the way that they should have. Now, I think some outlets talked about it, but not enough did. Now, if y'all remember, I recently did a video about a palm-colored male who got into it with a cop in a way that if we did it, that would have been our ass. Now, this one's taking it to a whole nother level. Y'all just saw the raw footage of this man that you see in this picture who still looks like he's clearly pissed off for whatever reason. And he was just destroying stuff, knocking stuff on the floor, flipping stuff over. Now, this happened in Connecticut at a Bloomingdale's. Bloomingdale's is not a cheap store by any means. So whatever damage he created in there definitely racked up thousands of dollars, and it did. Hundreds of thousands of dollars to be exact, or in that ballpark range. Now, you notice looking at that video, which you did not see. You didn't see security come over and bum rush this man. You have black people that can't even go into a store without window shopping or looking at an item without having suspicion surround them, i.e. John Crawford. Perfect example of that. Yet this man goes up in a Bloomingdale's and has a temper tantrum for whatever reason and just starts knocking stuff over. And we don't know why he's even upset or mad or whatever, but he has to take it out on a store that most likely didn't do anything to him. Now, what I'm going to do is read this article, one of the few articles that wrote something up about this man. Now, this video was posted on January 13th. Like, this is when the actual incident happened. I'm recording this on January 18th, and the article was posted on January 17th. So that lets you know that it didn't get as much traction, especially if you have to find out a lot of stuff like this through a social media site like Twitter, that means it wasn't meant to really get out there like that. If it didn't trend on Twitter, you know it wasn't meant to get out there. But I'm going to go ahead and read the article. A Norwalk man, and this is from Connecticut, was arrested on assault charges by Norwalk police on January 13th following a disturbance inside the new Bloomingdale's in the Sono collection, in which an estimated $100,000 worth of fixtures and merchandise were damaged. Jason Gabberty of Butler Street was charged with 2 counts of third-degree assault, first-degree criminal mischief, interfering with an officer, and breach of peace in connection with the incident, which began at about 6:45 p.m. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. This man actually punched one of the security guards. Not once was he shot. As far as we know, he wasn't tased, and he's still breathing. Yet they say we're the most dangerous ones when it comes to law enforcement. Like I said, when it comes to stories like this and it's law enforcement involved and they are verbally or physically assaulted by someone who looks like this, they're not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Now, if he looked like me, then of course it will get more traction, because then they would have an angle to go at it with, such as, see, that's why police don't protect black people, because they do this, that, and the third. Let me continue. Callers reported a male was inside the store knocking down items and had punched another individual, said Norwalk Police Lieutenant Jared Zwickler in a statement. Other callers stated the individual was destroying all of the items in the store. In cell phone video obtained by WABC TV and News 12 Connecticut, Gilberti is seen pushing over display racks and tables in the store's cosmetic department. Gilberti is also accused of punching and throwing items at the security guard who confronted him. And it's also added that the security guard and another person suffered minor injuries in the incident. Another security guard attempted to pepper spray Gilberti. Responding officers arrived and took Gilberti into custody after a brief struggle. So this man flipped over all these items, destroyed property, assaulted an officer and another person by throwing items, hitting them, and then getting into a scuffle with other officers. And it was a brief one, and they still took him in. To all of the colonizers and their co-colonizing cohorts, don't come onto my channel telling me that white privilege isn't real. I just gave you 2 examples in the last, 2 weeks. This one and that other one. And they're all recent. These are not old. These are new. videos. But don't worry, I'm sure there will be more to come. Zwickler said that initially there were reports of shots being fired. However, there were no shots fired during the incident. Now, if there were shots being fired, they definitely would have talked about it, because they would have said they would have said mass shooter in so and so place. Bloomingdale's and the mall did not close on Monday night following the incident, which Zwickler said appears to have been an isolated incident. Just after Christmas, fights were reported at several malls in the state, which resulted in the temporary closure of one of them and several people suffering minor injuries. Gilberti's next appearance in Norwalk Superior Court is scheduled for February 4th, according to the Connecticut Judicial website. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You just saw right there in video view this individual just flipping things over, and we don't know why he did it. But like I said, any day that ends in Y. Now, what is crazy about this is I could put this video out there and it wouldn't get that much traction because of who's in the video. But let it have been a black person that did this, I would have had the same content for him as I had for this person right here. It would have been worded a little bit differently, and this video would have spread like wildfire. I bet you if this video involved a black man or a black boy doing this, it would probably get 1,000 views in an hour. And this one would probably take a day or two to get to 1,000. Because of who it is. I could be wrong. But the way mainstream media will handle it, they'll only talk about it briefly. And like they said, they will treat it as an isolated incident. But like I said, these videos are starting to pop up more and more often now. And as long as we are on social media, they're not going to be hard to find. Especially if you have a lot of followers who send things to you or retweet things onto your timeline, and you don't have to go looking for them. Like, I didn't have to go looking for this. This was actually retweeted to me from somebody else who is not even following me. But I'm glad that I got a hold of it, and I'm glad I was able to speak on it, because many of you would not know. And it's crazy because some of you probably live in Connecticut and didn't even hear about this. But that's really all I had to say as it pertains to this story. I have a feeling nothing's really going to happen to this man. Otherwise, they would have dealt with him right then and there. But they handled him with kid gloves like they do with everybody else. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. Have the notifications turned on. And I will talk to you in the next one.